Hi, my name is Asia Keith, and I'm going to be talking about social media's effect on mental health in young adults. Have you ever thought about how much time you, or if you know another young adult, how much time they spend on social media? Or not alone not just how much time they spend on social media, but what exactly is that doing to their mind? The stuff that they're seeing, the stuff that they're liking and watching. What is it doing to their mind mentally? I know as being a lot of young millennials, a lot of my time personally goes wasted, honestly, on social media. But there's this thing that Apple, like if you have an Apple phone, it sends you this weekly report at the end of the week, and it shows you how much time that you're looking at photos, that you're on Facebook, that you're on social media. And honestly, it's just quite alarming, especially to me, how much time that I waste on my phone when that time can be put to somewhere else doing something that is going to be meaningful and that I know my time is not wasted. But in the 21st century that we live in, social media is a huge epidemic. Things are always going viral. Things are always popping up on our phones, or just something that's always going on that's causing us to be on our phones. The urge to get the most likes, to get the most followers, to take the right picture, have the right lighting, that is something that it can be very, very, very detrimental to somebody that's young or immature, or they're not really mature yet. All that stuff can be a little overwhelming. And I know for me personally, I wasn't the type of person that had the most friends, that had the most, I wasn't popular or anything like that. And when it came to social media, it was like I was looking at pictures and I'm like, I don't look like her, or I don't have that many followers. And for me, that was very distressing, and for me mentally and emotionally. And that's why I kind of wanted to bring light to the situation, because I feel like social media has a lot to do with the way people think and how they think it's supposed to be. And social media is not reality. Social media is not, everything is not what they seem like, what it seems to be on social media. And that's what I really wanted to talk about, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand it, because mental health is something that is so internal. You can't see somebody dealing with mental health unless you know, obviously, if they're dealing with it. But like, it's just not something that's outward. And I feel like mental health is something that is swept under the rug a lot, because a lot of people don't understand it unless you're somebody that's actually going through it, or just different things. But mental health is a huge, huge deal. And I feel like a lot of people need to talk about it more. It's something I feel that is not talked about enough. Like a lot of other disabilities and different things that are talked about. Another thing I wanted to talk about is social media is not all negative, but because it is a great way to connect and network with different people, keep in contact with family, and just different things. Social media is honestly so convenient, and it's just made everything so convenient. And like, I'll post a picture, and then 2 seconds later, already people that are in South Carolina or in Florida have already seen. And it's just so at our fingertips, is so convenient. And one thing too that I wanted to talk about was how a lot of us young millennials spend a lot of time on social media. Sometimes that face to face communication can sometimes be lost, because we're spending a lot of time behind the screen on the computer. But it's like when you see somebody, it's like you can't even have a regular conversation with them. For me, when I was in high school, there would be a ton of people that I would talk to online, especially that went to my same school. But when I saw them in person, it was like, how am I gonna have a conversation? But we talk all the time behind the screen, behind the phone, texting. But it's like when we see each other, it's like lack of face-to-face communication. And I feel like sometimes that is a very important skill that can be lost. And I feel like having that face-to-face communication, being able to connect with others, and have that face-to-face communication is very important, especially in our career, in our personal life, and making connections with others. I feel like that communication skill is something that we should always be practicing on and should never lack. Face-to-face communication and communicating through technology is something that a lot of people have started to do, especially in their careers, in their work life, in school, like with Zooming back and forth with your teachers. So technology has made it very accessible with communicating with people on social media, on not social media, just communicating with people in general. But like I said again, mental health is something that is very important, and social media does play a huge role in mental health. And I feel like mental health and social media are two very important topics, but they're talked about separately. Like, you wouldn't hear somebody talking about social media and mental health together. And I feel like they need to be talked about together, because everything that's seen on social media that's posted is not real life. It is not reality. And I feel like, especially as young millennials, they don't understand that quite often. But that's what I wanted to talk about. And I thank you for your time, and have a great day.